The Nevada death row inmate who had been awaiting his execution for over a decade has taken matters into his own hands. Scott Dozier was found dead this afternoon in an apparent suicide. Dozier, a convicted killer, had his execution delayed 2 times after it was caught in the middle of a legal battle between the makers of the lethal injection drug. Darlene Melendez explains what was holding back that execution, leaving Dozier's life caught in the middle. Darlene.
Well, Sasha, just last month, our 8 News Now I-Team reported that the Department of Corrections placed 2-time convicted killer Scott Dozier on suicide watch. It's unclear how long he was placed on watch, but Dozier had been very clear himself. He would rather die than spend the rest of his life in prison. Today, he was found alone in his cell in an apparent hanging. Dozier had given up his fight in court and insisted the state carry out his 2007 death sentence for separate killings of methamphetamine drug trade associates in 2002 in Phoenix and here in Las Vegas. But the Department of Corrections hadn't been able to carry out Dozier's death sentence. The execution was planned and stopped twice. Drug companies fought to stop the use of their drugs as part of his lethal injection. And before that, Dozier's attorneys argued about the never-before used drug combination, as well as the lack of transparency from the state about the process. Dozier was in the process of suing the Nevada Department of Corrections, the acting warden of Ely State Prison, and other employees. In Dozier's lawsuit, he said his rights were violated when he was placed on suicide watch in isolation for 24 hours a day, no clothes except boxers and no bedding, and he was unable to communicate with his attorneys. He also argued that the DOC was just causing more damage and that he wasn't suicidal. Prior court records did show that Dozier's sister had sent him information on a specific way to commit suicide, and there had been an attempt by Dozier to have potent drugs smuggled into the prison by mail. And meanwhile, the Nevada Supreme Court was in the process of deciding if the Department of Corrections could move forward with Dozier's execution. Dozier would have been the first Nevada inmate put to death since 2006. Sasha.